Jayo Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram. Jaya Radha Shyama Sundar, Radha Shyama Sundar, Radha Shyama Sundar, Jaya Radha Shyama Sundar, Radha Shyama Sundar, Radha Shyama Sundar. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janmadhyasya yatonvayat tarataschatyashvabhigya svarate brahma hridaya dikavaye muhyanti yatsuraya tejo varimridam yatha vinimayo yatratrisargum risha dhamnasvena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi satyam param dhimahi yam pravrajantam anupedam apeda kritya dvaipayano virahakatara juhava putreti tanmayatayo taravo binedustam sarvabhuta hridayam munimanatosmi narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet nashtaprayeshva badrishu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. So, we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Делай так, чтобы он не отключался. 10th Canto, chapter 62. 63, okay, yeah. And verse number 7, right? 7 to 22, okay. Okay. Asit Sutumulam Yudham Adbhutam Romaharshanam Krishna Sankarshanayaha Rajan Pradyumna Guhayoho Api Asitsutumulam Yudham Adbhutam Romaharshanam Krishna Sankarshayo Rajan Sankarayo Rajan Pradyumna Guhayo Rapi Asittu Tumulam Yudham Adbhutam Romaharshanam Krishna Sankarayo Rajan Pradyumna Guhayo Rapi Asitsu Tumulam Yudham Adbhutam Romaharshanam Krishna Sankarayo Rajan Pradyumna Guhayo Rapi Mataji? Asit, there occurred, Sutumulam, very tumultuous, Yudham, a fight, Adbhutam, astonishing, Romaharshanam, causing bodily hair to stand on end. Krishna Shankarayaho, between Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva. Rajan, O King, Parikshit. Pradyumna Guhayoho, between Pradyumna and Kartikeya. Api, also. Translation. A most astonishing, tumultuous, and hair-raising battle then commenced with Lord Krishna matched against Lord Shankara and Pradyumna against Kartikeya. I will skip Sanskrit because there's many verses. Lord Balarama fought with Kumbandha and Kupakarna Samba with Bana's son, and Satyaki with Bana himself. Brahma and the other ruling demigods, along with Siddhas, Charanas, and great sages, as well as Gandharvas, Apsaras, and Yakshas, all came in their celestial airplanes to watch. With sharp-pointed arrows discharged from his bow, Sharanga, Lord Krishna drove away the various followers of Lord Shiva, Bhutas, Pramathas, Guhyakas, Dakinis, Yatudhanas, Vetalas, Vinayakas, Pretas, Matas, Pishachas, Kushmandas, and Brahma Rakshasas. Lord Shiva, wielder of the trident, shot various weapons at Lord Krishna, wielder of Sharanga. But Lord Krishna was not in the least perplexed. He neutralized all these weapons with appropriate counter weapons. Lord Krishna counteracted a Brahmastra with another Brahmastra, a wind weapon with a mountain weapon, a fire weapon with a rain weapon, and Lord Shiva's personal Pashupatastra weapon with his own personal weapon, the Narayana Astra. After bewildering Lord Shiva by making him yawn with a yawning weapon, Lord Krishna proceeded to strike down Banasura's army with his sword, club, and arrows. Lord Kartikeya was distressed by the flood of Pradyumna's arrows raining down from all sides, and thus he fled the battlefield on his peacock as blood poured from his limbs. Kumbhanda and Kupakarna, tormented by Lord Balarama's club, fell down dead. When the soldiers of these two demons saw their leaders had been killed, they scattered in all directions. Banasura was furious to see his entire military force being torn apart. Leaving his fight with Satyaki, he charged across the battlefield on his chariot and attacked Lord Krishna. Excited to a frenzy by the fighting, Bana simultaneously pulled out all his strings of his 500 bows and fixed 2 arrows on each string. Lord Srihari split every one of Banasura's bows simultaneously and also struck down his chariot driver, chariot, and horses. The Lord then sounded his conch shell. Just then, Banasura's mother, Kotara, desiring to save her son's life, appeared before Lord Krishna naked and with her hair undone. Lord Gadagraja turned his face away to avoid seeing the naked woman, and Banasura, deprived of his chariot, his bow scattered, took the opportunity to flee into the city. And the last verse of this series. After Lord Shiva's followers had been driven away, the Shiva Jvara, who had 3 heads and 3 feet, pressed forward to attack Lord Krishna. As the Shiva Jvara approached, he seemed to burn everything in the 10 directions. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti quotes the following description of Shiva Jvara. Jvaras 3 padas 3 shirah, Shadbhujo navalochanah basma praharano raudrah kalantakam yamopamah. The terrible Shiva Jvara had 3 legs, 3 heads, 6 arms, and 9 eyes. Showering ashes, he resembled Yamaraja in the time of universal annihilation. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Okay. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yantah pravishya mama vachim imam prasuptam sanjeevayate kila shakti darasvadam nanyamscha hasta charana shravanatva gadim pranannamo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam svasyastu vishvasya kalah prasidatam dhyantu bhutani shivam mithodya manascha badram bhajata tadokshajem aveshyatam no matir apyahaitu ki. So I was thinking what to tell about 3 heads and 9 eyes of Jvarasura. Let's see what is going to happen. But in general, this section of Srimad Bhagavatam is meant to illustrate the supremacy of Lord Krishna over everyone, including Lord Shiva, who is, in one sense, his second half, but nevertheless, he is different. So, it's a very peculiar episode where Lord Krishna is fighting personally with Lord Shiva. Usually, they don't do it. And in one sense, this is also a very interesting illustration of how demigods are dependent, or in this particular case, codependent. Why Lord Shiva is fighting against Lord Krishna? He perfectly knows that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He perfectly knows that he is the chastiser of everyone, but he feels obliged to fight with Lord Krishna because he is the worshipable Lord of Banasura. So this codependent relationship of the worshipper and worshipable deity is only possible in case of demigods. When somebody starts praying and worshiping the demigod feels obliged to give favors to this particular person, no matter how nonsensical he is. And he is ready to do everything, including fighting with Lord Krishna. This is a very amazing point. So he has to do it because he feels obliged. He feels grateful, and that's why he is now fighting Lord Krishna himself. So this point of codependence, definitely the worshipper is dependent on whom he is worshipping, but paradoxically enough, there is this mutual dependence which take place when they start accepting the worship and giving the worship. And this illustrates the point that the only independent entity, the only one who is completely independent, the only one who is Svarat in the proper sense of the word, is Lord Krishna. Everyone else is dependent. You may be dependent, everyone else definitely depends on Krishna, because he is the Ishvara and everyone is his Britya, his servant. And moreover, it would not be so bad if we were only dependent on Krishna. It's ultimately a very dignified position to be dependent on somebody who is totally independent. But to be dependent on somebody who is dependent himself is very humiliating. And that's why this story illustrates how demigods put themselves into a very humiliating position by accepting the worship of some improper people, or for this case, of anyone. It's actually a very proper position, and because we also in the position of accepting worship from somebody, being a sannyasi or guru or senior devotee or whoever in the society, mother, father, demigod again, we're accepting the worship. And it's a very important art to understand that the only proper way of accepting the worship of others is to be completely dependent on the Supreme Lord Himself, not to be dependent of somebody who is worshiping you. The moment you start depending on the worship of your worshipper, the moment you become somehow or other dependent on him, or in any way, materially, emotionally, economically, whatever sense you're dependent, you lose your independence, and you find yourself in a very humiliating position. So, and the only way not to become dependent, because there is a great temptation to accept the worship in a proper sense. Yes, he's worshiping me. What am I supposed to do? I should reciprocate with the worship. It means I accept the worship myself. And immediately, at this very moment of time, I'm trapped. I am trapped in this trap of worship. And I take myself too seriously, and sooner or later, I will find myself fighting with Lord Krishna. Either literally or in some other more symbolic sense, but still I will be competing with him by accepting somebody's worship, by accepting the worship seriously. That yes, I am worshipable object, yes, right. Yeah. Look where I'm sitting, and you're sitting there. So by doing this, by taking yourself too seriously, and by really accepting the worship seriously, thinking that you're the worshipable object, you're trapped. And you become dependent, and ultimately you will be humiliated, and you will compete with Lord Krishna. But the only proper way, the only one way, there is only one way of accepting worship is accepting it on behalf of Krishna. Yes, I'm playing some role. Yes, I'm a very insignificant fellow. I'm an insignificant creature. Somehow or other, this little worm is sitting on Vyasasana by some inconceivable strike of fortune. But I shouldn't take myself seriously. I shouldn't think that I'm worshipable. I'm only as worshipable as I'm close to Krishna, and I'm close to Krishna when I worship Him, when I'm directly in connection with Him. And that's why while doing something where you are forced or obliged, rather, not forced, but obliged to accept the worship, we should always remember Krishna. We should always remember the one who is the really worshipable object. We should always remember on whose behalf we are doing this very difficult and very dangerous service of accepting somebody's respect, somebody's honor, and so on and so forth. So, in one sense, this story reminds us about this point when we have to clearly understand that Otherwise, the fight with Krishna is inevitable. At one point, we will start competing with him and trying to fight with him, which is a useless endeavor. And here it is very clearly and very interestingly illustrated how Krishna was reciprocating. He says in Bhagavad Gita, Yayathamam prapanyante tam stathamya bhajamyaham. And he is perfectly illustrating this point in this battle, you know. If you throw into him Brahmastra, he will throw Brahmastra into you, no problem. He has all his astras. If you throw any other astras in him, he has an appropriate astra to throw onto you. And his astra will be more powerful than astra. Don't worry. And there is a very particular astra which is not yet being invented in this material world, is yawning astra. You know? At one point, Lord Shiva threw a yawning astra at Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna threw his yawning astra at Lord Shiva. And sure enough, Lord Shiva started yawning like anything. So in any case, what we see now, and it's also a very important point of this whole story, is that after all the astras were exhausted, after Lord Shiva started basically destroying the whole army of Lord Krishna, of Lord Shiva, then the last and the most formidable weapon was applied by Lord Shiva, his Shaiva Jvara, his weapon of fever. This feverish weapon, which is being described, and the beautiful prayers, I was actually regretting that I was not given a chance to speak on Jvarasura's prayers, sorry. They're beautiful and very, very philosophical, how he surrenders himself and explains the actually secrets of the ontology, the secrets of the creation of our human body and human mind. Very interesting prayers. Actually, Srila Jiva Goswami uses his prayer as an illustration of what is the composition of the subtle body of human being. But putting this aside, it's a very interesting point of Srimad Bhagavatam is that Jvarasura or Shaiva Jvara is the ultimate weapon of Lord Shiva. What it basically means, it means that Lord Shiva is the destruction deity. He is the God who is destroying everything, including us. And because we are all doomed to be destroyed, Lord Shiva is definitely present in us. And Lord Shiva is present in us by being the presiding deity of false ego. Ultimately, the destructive element, the element which dooms us into destruction, which brings about the inevitable death, is the false ego, ahankara. And the weapon, the ultimate weapon of ahankara, he is the Abhimani deity of false ego. And Jvara, or Jvarasura, how he is called in some other places, he is the Abhimani deity or presiding Abhimani Devata or presiding deity of Jvara, which is the ultimate means of destruction. It is said in Ayurveda that everyone dies from Jvara, from fever. And there are different, unlimited varieties of fever, of feverish condition, but ultimately the cause of death is Jvara. It's a very dangerous condition when you're born, and you're dying again from the same cause, from Jvara. So therefore, it's very important for us to be familiar who this demon or demigod, in one sense, is. Actually, in Tamil Nadu, in South India, there is a special temple where Jvarasura is being worshipped. And there is a special temple of Lord Shiva. It's called Jvara Hareshwara. It's the temple of Lord Shiva, who is Hara, who is depriving you, or who is releasing you from Jvara. And there the deity of Jvarasura is there. And the story of appearance of Jvarasura in this world is described in Mahabharata. It is said in Mahabharata that during Daksha Yagya, the famous Daksha Yagya described in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when Sati was observing this universal festival, the big Utsav, when all the demigods and all this representative of different species of life were flying to this big festival of Daksha Yagya on the sky, and she became really envious, and she became sentimentally moved by these festivities, and she wanted really to manifest her childish feminine nature by socializing with her relatives, this and that. And she came to Lord Shiva and she started expressing her desire to go there, and her sorrow that she is not invited and he is not invited. While she was doing this, Lord Shiva was listening to her with very compassionate mood. And at this very moment, the compassion or the grief of Lord Shiva became personified. We have to really understand that whatever emotion is being experienced by these great personalities, celestial personalities, he become a real personality with real, function in this world. And from his third eye, the third eye of Lord Shiva, the tear came, the tear of grief, very hot tear of grief. Srila Prabhupada explains that there are two kinds of tears. The tears of joy and the tears of joy are cool. And the tears of grief are very hot. So this boiling hot tear of grief came down from the third eye of Lord Shiva, and immediately it took the form of Jvarasura. And Mahabharata explains, depicts very graphically this rupa, beautiful rupa of Jvarasura. He had his hairs on his body all over the place were standing on end. They were erect. They were, huge hairs. And he had long mustache. Just imagine a newborn baby with mustache. It's horrifying itself. And moreover, this mustache was green. A green mustache. and he was deep black. He was really black. His whole body was black, and he was dressed in a blood red cloth. That was the creature which appeared at that time from Lord Shiva's third eye, and that was Jvara, and he became his favorite weapon, his favorite son. And of course, what this stupid guy did, immediately he attacked all the demigods. And all the demigods, including Lord Brahma, they became feverish. He had this power of being everywhere, and he became very feverish, and everyone became very feverish and, weak. We all know what Jvara means. Jvara, the fever, is the most common disease, and every one of us experience it again and again and again. And we all know how unpleasant it is. You are just, you're good for nothing. You can just only lay down with terrible headache and yawning and, being sleepy all the time. So just imagine all the demigods in the moment when this happened, all the demigods immediately felt sleepy and feverish and, like laying down and yawning. And Lord Brahma, he started praying to Lord Krishna. He started praying to Narayana, please do something about this guy. And Lord Narayana said, no. From now on, you don't touch the demigods. And he extracted him from the body of the demigods. And happily, Jvarasura started jumping on the bodies of everyone else. But we will see the benedictions which Lord Krishna will give to him very soon. It's a very interesting story. Actually, what happened after that, when Jvarasura was ordered to leave the bodies of demigods, he decided to attack Lord Krishna himself. Because he's not a demigod, right? So he is a good prey, he is a good target for him, and very lightheartedly, and without thinking twice, he attacked the body of Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna at that time, Lord Narayana at that time, was in his Hayagriva mood. It's interesting because Hayagriva is the presiding deity of knowledge. And he was attacked by this Jvara. Sometimes in our, zeal to obtain knowledge, we become little feverish. But Hayagriva took his Sudarshana chakra and he cut the body of Jvara into 3 pieces, vertically. And, this guy was laying there, cut into 3 pieces. And that's why, actually, he had 3 heads. The story is like this. He was laying there, cut in 3 pieces, and somehow or other, Lord Brahma, who had some compassion to him, because ultimately, Jvara is a very useful part of Lord Brahma's creation. If nobody will die here, very soon there will be overpopulation in this material world. So, being compassionate to this Jvarasura, he put them all together, but said, you keep your heads separate. So this guy cut into 3 pieces. He became 3-headed, 3-legged. He had 6 arms, and of course 9 eyes, because he had 3 eyes from Lord Shiva, from the genes of Lord Shiva. So he had DNA was there. So this creature is still there. And as we see here in this peculiar story, he was employed by Lord Shiva to fight with Krishna as his ultimate weapon. In Harivamsa Purana, this fight between Lord Krishna and Jvarasura is described in more details, and I will explain a little bit about this story which is described there. They said that Jvarasura first attacked Lord Balaram. He thought that this, big guy is a good prey for me, and he attacked him. And Lord Balaram was trying to fight with Jvara, with this fever, and it is said that, Jvarasura started whirling, as if he was many bodied. He was whirling all over the battlefield, and ultimately Lord Balaram became completely bewildered. He didn't know how to cut this guy into pieces because he was too quick. He was just all over the place. And at the point when he became totally dizzy, Jvarasura entered his body. And immediately, the moment when Balaram's body was attacked by Jvarasura, by Jvara, he felt very, and he wanted to lay down, and he was yawning, and he was, and he became very weak, and from his last power, he started crying, Krishna, Krishna Mahabaho, save me, I'm dying here from this fever, save me. And Krishna immediately ran to him during this battle, this fierce battle, and he embraced Lord Balaram. It's actually very interesting again, because Balaram is Sankarshan, and Sankarshan again is connected with Lord Shiva. So he was attacked by this Jvarasura, and he was the prey of this feverish condition. But Lord Krishna is free from all this. So just his embrace immediately relieved Balaram from this disease, from this feverish condition. And Balaram became strong again. And by the embrace of Lord Krishna extracted this Jvara, this fever, from the body of Balaram and threw him far away and thought that he is dead. But Jvarasura immediately became alive again and attacked Lord Krishna himself. Here we are in this battle between Jvarasura and Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna, just for the sake of pastime, he pretended that he succumbed to the attack of Jvara. And he also started yawning. Somehow or other, yawning is a very important part of this whole pastime, and I guess it's because it's supposed to be discussed during Bhagavatam class. And the yawning is a very integral part of Bhagavatam class. Anyway, Krishna himself kind of pretended that he is a prey of this Jvara, of this feverish condition for some time, but was not for a long time. But then immediately he took him out and he started whirling him. And he wanted to kill him finally. He was whirling and whirling and whirling, because we all know that when, again, this is the reciprocation of Lord Krishna. He is perfectly capable of reciprocate with you in a perfect way. We know when there is this fever we have this dizziness, and our head is whirling. So Lord Krishna told him, you will see how it is to be feverish. You will experience yourself according to the karmic reactions. So he was whirling him. And this Jvarasura was actually ready to leave his body and liberated from Lord Krishna, or by Lord Krishna rather. But then the celestial voice stopped Lord Krishna, and he said, please don't kill this guy. He is a useful part of this creation. Instead, give him blessings. And immediately, Lord Krishna changed his mood. Of course, he never, really was angry at this Jvarasura. He was just enjoying by, that was his lila. He had some ventilator around him to cool down the fever which he experienced just moment before. So he was using the fever himself to cool down his body. So that was his beautiful pastime of fighting with him. And immediately Jvarasura said, oh, I am the surrendered soul. I am the soul surrendered unto you. Please give me the benediction. Give me the proper targets. And it's actually very important to understand why Jvarasura, or this Jvara demon, has 3 heads. Ayurveda explains this point. Why it has 3 heads? Because there are 3 doshas. So there are 3 kinds of fever. There is Vataja Jvara, Pittaja Jvara, and Kaphaja Jvara. The Jvara which is created by imbalances of all these 3 doshas. And that's why there is such a high, huge range of different kinds of diseases which create feverish condition. So, and when this Jvarasura, again, this tripoded nature, it's a very important and very beautiful part of the whole Srimad Bhagavatam philosophy and the whole Vedic philosophy, is that the 3 is a very important part of creation. So when Jvarasura asked the benediction from Lord Krishna gave him the benediction, and he said, now you divide yourself into 3 parts again. He's already divided into 3 parts, but Lord Krishna is kind of being merciful. He said, you already divided into 3 parts, so why don't you, divide your labor into 3 parts as well. And he said that one part of your subjects will be quadruples, quadrupeds, those animals who are walking in 4 legs. So you will attack them. The another part of your praise would be immovable living entities. It's interesting that the trees and even the water and even the mountains are subject matter of Jvara. And it will be explained how they experience this disease of Jvara in these benedictions of Lord Krishna. And the third part is, of course, for us human beings. You are not exception of his domain. So this Jvarasura was divided into 3 parts, and his labor, his duties were also divided into these 3. And actually it is very interestingly said that Jvarasura, that the 1/4 part of this part which is given from Jvara to the human beings will be given to the birds. I was thinking about this. Now we have all kinds of feverish conditions which are coming from the birds. We are contracting these diseases. Why? Because we are kind of, the same etiology is there, that the birds are also experiencing the same diseases, and that's why we can contract all these very dangerous diseases from the birds. So, and then Lord Krishna actually explained, and he said, when the trees, he said that the water will become feverish, how the fever will manifest in water. It's interesting. The fever will manifest in water, that it become greenish. We all know that during this hot season, the water in the ponds in Vrindavan become all green. So that's the feverish condition. The earth will experience fever by become saline. All this salty earth, which is not, where practically nothing can grow, this is the feverish condition of the earth. And then he said that the elephants, when they experience headache, and elephants become mad of the headaches. They have huge head and huge headache when they experience it. It's again the cause of Jvarasura. And the cows, when they have problems with the hoofs, it's their manifestation of Jvara. And the trees, when the leaves become covered by frost, like whitish. Sometimes Tulasi Devi becomes whitish when she is attacked by some microbes and germs. So this is again Jvara. This is how Jvara manifests in the trees. And sometimes we see that trees die from this fever. So Lord Krishna very mercifully explained to him, this is where you can be, and this is where you can be, and be happy with this. And Jvarasura became so pleased. He just looked at this earth and he understood that there is a plenty of job to do, because we all need some job to perform. he felt very empowered, actually. This is very important. He felt, yes, I'm very important personality here. I'm a celebrity in this world. Everyone knows me, and everyone is subjugating to me. Everyone is obeying to my orders and yawning and doing everything which I tell. And then ultimately this guy, he approached Lord Krishna and said, maybe I can do something for you. You gave me this benediction and I'm very grateful to you. Maybe I can also do something for you. And Lord Krishna said, yes, you can do something for me. And because there is already time, I have to finish now. Shall I continue or not? Anyway, this is a little joke. I will not speak too much longer, just a couple of minutes. So Krishna said, please do me one favor. Now I will give you 2 mantras, 2 verses in Sanskrit. And whoever, while remembering me in the heart, will pronounce these verses, these 2 verses in Sanskrit, when he is feverish. Of course, it's not about the cows and elephants, it's about human beings. Whoever among human beings will remember these mantras, then please leave his body immediately. So there is a very useful part of this whole story, how to get rid of this feverish condition. For that you have to somehow or other strain your brain and remember 2 verses in Sanskrit. I will chant them now and you can repeat after me. Yeah, actually the whole body of this guy was covered by bhasma. When he attacked Lord Balaram, you know, there was mountains of ash produced by from the body of you know, and we know why some great mystics also produce some ash from their body. Anyway, this is a joke. But this is the mantras. Tripad bhasma praharanas. Tripad bhasma prakaranas. Praharanas. Tripad means he has 3 legs, and bhasma, he has, you know, ash all over his body. Tripad bhasma praharanas. Trishirana valochanah. He has 3 heads and 9 eyes. Same pritah sukham dadyat. It's Russian. Please be pleased with me and make me happy. Same pritah, be happy with me. Sukham dadyat, give me happiness. Sarvamaya patir jvarah. Oh, Jvara, you are Sarvamaya Patir. You are the head, you are the master of all the diseases. And Adyantavanta Kavayah Puranah Sukshma Brihanta Pya Nashushitara Sukshma Branto Sukshma Brihanta Pyana Shushitara Sukshma brihanta pya nu shashitaraha. As you know, I'm not prepared to experience fever yet. Sarvanjva ranghantu mama nirudha. Vajvavan ranghantu mama nirudha. Pradyumna sankarshana vasudevaha. This is easy. Okay. Adyantavanta kavayah purana sukshma brihanto pya anushashitaraha sarvanja varanghanantu mama nirudha pradyumna sankarshana vasudeva. Those who are at the beginning and end, those who are experiencing fever in the beginning and end, those who are wise, those who are ancient, means old, those who are subtle, abundant, no, actually he's meaning the Pradyumna and Aniruddha. Those who are at the beginning and end, those who are wise, those who are ancient, those who are subtle, abundant, and great instructors, the son of Vasudeva, Krishna, Sankarshana, Balarama, Pradyumna and Aniruddha, may be pleased and remove my fever. So this is the two mantras which should be remembered if we want properly fight with this Jvarasura by using the power of all-powerful Supreme Lord, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram and Shri Shri Radha Shyama Sundar. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanandi. Okay, so that's it. Thank you. Thank you very much.